Hello, and welcome back to Process of Elimination. My name is Maybe Dennis, and last time we went to meet with Renegade Detective in order to save Posh, who apparently is now handcuffed to something and has her wrist implanted with a bomb. And we had basically a fight, like an RPG fight, with Renegade. We had to predict his moves using the denouement ability, blocked him, parry him, and then we knocked him down, hoping that we finished the fight. But no, he figured out our ability and found out that non-lethal moves do not activate our denouement. So then we kind of fall down just to remember stuff about 10 years in the past, how we were the ideal detective, how we were actually the ones who quote-unquote died or got severely injured, and how Saika took our place as the ideal detective. And with basically a restored, I guess, motivation, Watto gets up and essentially beats Renegade Detective. It was really satisfying, and it was honestly a pretty cool clash between these two people. But afterwards, the lights kind of go off and we're like, whoa! And then Renegade is gone. We leave the building, or we leave the room, just to find that Workaholic seems to be a little bit tied up. So yeah, we're gonna find out what that's about. Decided to start here instead of the actual thing, because if I remember correctly, it ended with a lot of beeping. So I didn't want to subject you to that. But let's head into it. Okay. Maybe I remembered wrong. I thought there was a lot of emergency alarm beeping. What? As the alarm continues to ring, we're confronted with a shocking sight that makes us convulse in horror. At this point, he doesn't, we can't really confirm that he's dead because his body isn't, torn apart, but I'm pretty sure he's been electrocuted from the wire that's hanging up from the ceiling. Yeah, Workaholic droops limply, handcuffed to a pipe extending from the fire extinguisher. Okay, so what can we see here? We see a gash on his right side, as well as his shirt, all over his body actually, his face, his arm. We also see the band on the floor, and there's a lot of water there, a lot of liquid. He's handcuffed to the pipe, and the pipe has also been gashed. But I think because he had metal handcuffs attached to his arms, as well as that just the metal handcuff attached to the pole, he was gotta be electrocuted. I'm pretty sure that's what the cause of death is going to be. He also has a band on his arm currently, so I wonder why there's a band on the ground. There are 4 boxes piled up there. I don't know if I saw that there before. I really don't remember. I don't know when, so the thing is, if we account for all the people, we'll have to meet up with the other group first, actually, before I discuss anything. His entire body is soaked. Countless lacerations cover him like a tortured victim. He doesn't respond to our cries. Could it be? Workaholic held his ground against Renegade Detective. There's no way he could die like this. I hurried to take his pulse. However, electricity, the water around him too. Dolfo sprints towards me, but he's too late. I've already made contact with Workaholic's body. Pain immediately racks me like flames on my skin. What is this? Yeah. Gourmet takes a fork from her pocket, raises it high, and slashes the chain connecting the handcuffs to the pipe in one stroke. She didn't get electrocuted when that happened? Okay, so now I think we have the entire gang here. Bookworm and Teki joins us. I run to Teki to see if anything has happened, if he has anything to help. He does. Okay, I guess Zappy. Yeah, Zappy. Life-saving friend. I borrowed Teki's tool and put everything I have into getting Workaholic's heart back into rhythm. But it shouldn't have been too long since he was shocked. We can still make it. There's still time, I'm sure of it. What the heck? Something just blew up. It was above us?
まさかエレベーターで何かが起きたんじゃないですかと少女は今起こり得る可能性に言及する。
Okay, so now that everyone's here, everyone kind of has an alibi. I'm sure that Bookworm and Gourmet can vouch one another, as well as Doleful. I think Doleful was also there. And we were with Posh the entire time. Renegade, he was the only one that I guess maybe had an opportunity, but the blackout happened so quickly, and I don't think it was very long. Unless he managed to get Workaholic tied up here for like in the span of like 10 seconds and then run away to the elevator, it just doesn't seem possible. It doesn't seem like there could be anyone else too. Only Renegade or Workaholic could have pulled this off, but Workaholic's the dead one.
忘れていましたわ。そういえば下道探偵がエレベーターの鍵を持ったまま逃走中なんですのよ。
僕は心臓マッサージを続けます。皆さんはエレベーターの確認をお願いします。
I don't know if you should be the one trying to do that because I mean, maybe you do know how to do that, but I feel like maybe Techie or Gourmet has more experience.
そうするしかないようですわね。飛脚さん、ついてらっしゃい。私も家族ちゃんについていくわ。科学ちゃんと文学ちゃんは残って無能ちゃんのお手伝いをお願いできるかしら。はい。
Man, her knife has been very useful.
無能探偵、疲れたら交代するのでいつでも言ってください。少女は自身の体力を不安視しながらも言った。
The lack of faith in her physical strength notwithstanding.
ありがとう。みんなも気をつけてね。
When we get back off the islands, we're gonna have you on a workout regimen. You're gonna be as big as Gourmet.
社畜さん、聞こえたら返事をしてください。社畜さん。
I call out to him as I repeatedly administer the AED to his heart, but time passes and his eyes don't stir even once.
社畜さん、お願いします。目を開けてください。あなたには家族もいるはずでしょう。目を開けてくださいよ。社畜さん、社畜さん。
心臓マッサージを始めてからすでに10分以上。諦めましょう。
Yeah.
少女は心苦しく思いながらも言った。
たとえ意志がいても諦める状態です。これ以上は、もう。
Okay, so it seems like Workaholic has been killed. Question is how? There's just like the timeline is so weird because we've kind of accounted for every one of us. If Workaholic was tied there before our confrontation with Renegade, I feel like we would have noticed if we passed the room unless they camouflaged that area somehow. Right? Like, right?
そんな。
My legs give out as I sink to the floor. I'd finally decided to protect the lives of others to the very best of my ability. But the moment Workaholic gave me a chance to put my words into action, he died. What a bitter, darkly ironic end. Apart from the stab wounds on his chest, his body remains untouched, making it harder to accept as reality. Was he really murdered?
誰がこんなひどい真似をしたって言うんだ。
もう、生き残りは僕たちしかいません。なら、犯人の候補は一人じゃないですか。
I mean, technically from the perspectives of the other people, I guess Watto could technically be a potential suspect because the time when he was walking to the room, to Renegade's room, no one was with him. And if like, you know, if Workaholic was already here at the time, no one would really know. That's right. There's no doubt about it. The electrocution was caused the alarm, which occurred when the power returned, so Workaholic was killed when the trip breaker were reset. All of us were with somebody else. That leaves only one candidate who could set this trap up.
またお前なのか、下道探偵!
The timing with which the breakers tripped was too perfect. He planned from the start to escape under the cover of darkness while killing Workaholic at the same time.
もしやこの場所に私たちを引き寄せるのが目的なのでは。下道探偵もエレベーターの修理を待っていた一人なのですよね。と少女は問いかける。
確かに。
What Bookworm says makes sense. Even with the key, he couldn't use it while so many of us were camped out in front of the elevator. What if he was using Workaholic's corpse and the alarm to distract us?
先ほどの爆弾は、下道探偵が自分の使い終えたエレベーターを破壊した音かもしれません。
Crap.
僕らもエレベーターの前に戻ろう。状況を確認しないと。
I take the lead as we head over to where the others are waiting in front of the elevator. An unthinkable sight awaits us when we arrive at the elevator. Ew.
なんだよ、これ。
Is Renegade dead? The elevator is stuck. Its door is slightly ajar. Blood drips from the gap like the tap left running. Against my will, the overwhelming stench of the blood forces me to imagine the tragedy that could have transpired inside.
エレベーターが正常に動作していたので、この階へと呼んでみたらこうなっていたのですわ。内側の扉がちゃんと開かず、しかも血まみれで。僕らだけの力じゃ扉を開けられなかったんだ。無能くん手伝ってもらえるかな。
もちろんだよ。
We're opening it. We all grab the gates and pull with our combined strength. The metal scrapes along as it gradually shifts. Ooh, that's a lot of blood. The more the gap widens, the more blood spills out. It's like opening a portal to hell. I don't want to look, but I can't bring myself to avert my eyes. Once we forcefully pry the gates apart, a swirl of emotions assails me. Ew, boy, he's dead too. Oh, wait. So from the position of the blood in the body, he must have been leaning against the door as the elevator was going up. Since I think we confirmed that the elevator was in the up position, like it was a floor above us. So that also means, seeing where the blood is on his body, it's from like his neck downwards. I think his collar activated, and that might be what the explosion was. So what was the condition for activating his collar though? I don't know. I think the only one who knows is Ideal and, well, Renegade, but Renegade's dead. Ooh, Bookworm saw that and she's gonna remember that forever. A headless corpse tumbles out of the open elevator. Headless, yeah. Blood flows from the stump of its neck. I know I've seen this body before. That body, those clothes, could it be?
探偵？
なんですって？芸道さんは社畜さんを殺した犯人のはずでしょ？どうして殺されているんですの？
まだカモフラージュの可能性もあります。よく遺体を調べてみましょう。
文学さんは離れてて、僕らで調べてみるよ。
We cautiously approach what appears to be Renegade Detective's remains and investigate.
首なし死体だなんて久しぶりよ。えぐいことをするわね。
Admittingly, every time there is a body that has been decapitated or is missing a body part, specifically the head, I always wonder if it's like the actual body, because you can kind of replace anyone's body that has a similar build with the clothes that you have on, and if it's like covered in blood, people wouldn't really notice it upon first glance. But I don't think there are many people that would be missing an arm, and considering the fact that all the other people on this island, assuming that there's no other people on this island, have been dead for at least a week, I believe 10 days, I don't think you can really have a body in this good condition. So I feel like the number of bodies he'd be able to use is limited in that case. So I feel like this might actually just be Renegade.
僕が下道探偵を見失ってから猶予は全然なかったはずだよ。誰がどうやって首を切り落としたのかな。
Yes, who cut his head off with the explosion?
きっと社畜さんが言ってた首輪が爆発したんだよ。これはさすがにひどすぎるね。
さっき聞いたのは首輪の爆発音だったんですね。ですがどうして爆発を？
I gotta say, that is pretty damn gruesome.
あの下道探偵がこれほどあっさり死ぬなんて、なんだか信じられません。少女は両目を手で覆いつつ率直 な感想を口にする。
Yeah, continue covering your eyes. You don't need to see this.
僕も同じ気持ちだよ。
It looks like the renegade we know so well, but without any head on this corpse, we can't really tell if it's him. Knowing him, it doesn't seem impossible that he's still hiding somewhere alive and well. And then there are the further mysteries atop all of this. There are more explosions? Oh crap. We hear a tremendous boom from above us. It feels closer than the last one, as if the shaking floor is any indication. If the first explosion was a collar, then what's the second one?
この事件、妙な点が多すぎませんか？
そうね。エレベーターの鍵を下道ちゃんしか持っていなかった以上、呼び出せたのは彼自身だけだわ。でもその下道ちゃんは上の階で殺された。私たち以外の誰かが地上にいたと考えるのが自然かもしれないわね。
What? There are a lot of questions about this case. Like, if Renegade actually got up to the floor above us, would he have enough time to set up another bomb? And then go back into the elevator, close the door, and then explode? Like, all this, the timeline is just too small. I don't think he can really do all of this feasibly.
僕ら以外の誰かが？それって誰なのかな？まさかずっと地上の研究棟で誰かが上がってくるのを待っていたの？
ですが、そうなると社畜さんは誰に殺されたと言いますの？地上で誰かが待ち受けていただなんて矛盾していますわよ。それぞれ別の階層でほぼ同時に殺された2人。しかしその殺害条件が矛盾している事件。
I don't get it.
名付けるのであれば矛盾階層殺人事件といったところでしょうか。
The case of the paradox killings.
少女は自らの考えを口にした。
矛盾階層。
Everyone apart from Posh and myself was in the lobby. It's an obvious fact that none of us could have killed Workaholic. Renegade Detective was the only one who had the opportunity to kill him, but he was killed too. Could there be someone else on this floor? Or is there someone like me with superhuman abilities to defy those contradictions?
ホームズさん、僕はどうすればいいですか？
I asked Holmes, but I don't see her. She hasn't appeared at all since I remembered my past. Does that have something to do with why I haven't seen her since yesterday? Or is she choosing not to appear to me? I don't understand what's going on at all. There's no time to wait. We won't be able to escape this island if we don't unpack this mystery. We're so close to escaping. Our only choice is to solve this case, no matter what it takes. Oh, that's really weird. Chapter 5. The Case of the Paradox Murders. I wonder about, like, Ideal, actually. Because Ideal said I'll stay with you until you become a competent detective. But now that we're gaining more experience and we're clearly becoming more competent, is that correlated with why she's slowly disappearing? Because the more competent we are, the less we need her, and her purpose is going to essentially, she's no longer gonna have a purpose, so she'll end up spiriting away. It's kind of like how, like in a lot of mediums with ghost stuff, it's like they'll pass on if they are fulfilled or if they're exercised, and if Ideal's goal is to make sure that we are a competent detective, it's gonna be fulfilled, and then she's gonna pass on. Is that what's gonna happen?
いえ、状況は変わらずです。やっぱりこの島へ来た時と同じで、通信ネットワークが安定しません。
Man, this island sucks.
ですが、連絡が途絶えてからすでに1週間は経過しているはず。異常が伝わっているなら、いずれ救助が来てくれるはずです。
地上にいれば救助に気づかないことはないもんね。ひとまずはおとなしく待っておくのが最善かな。それにしてもロビーは地下と全く同じ見た目なんだね。
Wait, are we on? I didn't notice. Are we on like the first floor now? But I don't see any windows. Maybe I missed something. I wasn't paying attention.
はい。きっと意図的なものなんだと思います。エレベーターのボタンに地下の表示がなく、鍵を使った特別な押し方じゃないと地下へ行けなかったり、 かなり厳重に情報を隠されていたみたいですし、写真が流出してもごまかせるようにしているんじゃないでしょうか。
That's fair, yeah.
僕がそうだったように、きっとこの研究棟の職員の中にも地下の存在を知らなかった人もいたのだと思います。
組織内でもあまり公にしたくない場所だったってことか。
We all have a look around, and while there are traces of an explosion, there isn't anything too unusual. That is, apart from one thing in particular.
無能くん、下道探偵の首を見つけたよ。
What? His head was here? Oh man.
これはひどいね。
It's overwhelmingly graphic. By no means can we let Bookworm's photographic memory see it. We keep watch, ensuring the rest don't notice. The area where the collar was implanted is scorched, confirming the noise that we had heard before was, in fact, the collar detonating.
やっぱり
Ew, what the
首輪の
heck?
爆発が死因なのかな。
いや、下道探偵の死因は移動するエレベーターと床に挟まれて首がちぎれたことによるショック死だって美食さんが言っていたよ。
What the hell? It was caught between the elevator and the floor? Oh my god! This case is so much more graphic than it was before! Holy crap! And died from shock as it tore his head off.
ほら、エレベーターの扉に隙間があったでしょ。扉の焦げた痕跡を見るに、あの隙間は首輪の爆発で無理やり作られたみたいなんだ。
Judging by the scorch marks on them, it was forcefully made by an exploding collar.
そしてその隙間から首を出した状態でエレベーターが操作されると。
ちぎれるってわけか。人間のやることとは思えないエグさだね。
The plan must have taken into account how old the elevator is, not to mention that it's lacked security measures. Whatever the case, it's horrifying.
あれ、下道探偵の首に火傷の跡が見えるよ。爆発が死因じゃないのにおかしくないかな。
それはきっと2度目の爆発によるものだね。ほら、下道探偵は予備の首輪を複数所持していたでしょ。
Oh, I'm honestly still kind of confused about this part, where there was a gap between the elevator doors, and judging from the scorch marks on them, it was forcefully made by the exploding collar. But like, so he was caught between the elevator and the floor, and died from shock. So they're saying that like his head got torn off, but the thing also exploded, I think.
エレベーターの扉を開いた爆発はきっとその予備を使ったんだよ。そして2度目の爆発は下道探偵の首についていたものが爆発したんじゃないかな。
Wait, what? But we saw his. Wait, is his collar on his like on the head side or on the neck side? Like, did we see it on the floor below, or did we find it on the floor here? I know it's probably gone, or you know, it's detonated, but like, I'm having trouble really understanding when the explosions happened, because I thought the fact that there were scorch marks on the body meant that like it was detonated in the elevator, so the one that detonated first was his. But I think what he's saying is the opposite. So it must have been the second explosion. Renegade Detective took a number of reserve cause with him. He probably used one of them to blast the elevator doors open. So maybe the second one was the one on his neck going off, but we only heard one, and then we saw his body, and then we heard the other explosions, unless I'm remembering wrong.
つまり首がちぎれた後に追い打ちで爆発したってことか。因果応報とも言えるけど、さすがに同情したくなる死に方だね。
The collar on his neck detonated after his head was already torn off. Okay, that makes sense. But in that case, was the collar with the head side or the body side?
こんな殺し方を考えつくなんて信じられないよ。僕らが思っている以上に八つ崎公は残忍だったんだね。
今の状況から考えるに、犯人は予備の首輪を爆発させてエレベーターの扉を無理やりこじ開けた後、下道探偵の首を扉に挟んで脱出。
So the culprit detonated a reserve collar to force the elevator door open, then stuck Renegade Detective's head in between the doors and escaped. That's so weird, and I find it really hard to picture or to imagine. I
エレベーター
kind
が
of stuck.
下道探偵の首がちぎれた後、地上に転がった首に残されていた首輪が時間差で爆発したというわけか。どうしてわざわざそんな手間を。
Wait, I need to see this one again. So, the culprit detonated a reserve collar to force the elevator door open. So they're saying that the key wasn't the thing that opened the elevator and stuck the renegade detective's head in between the doors and escaped. And then the elevator went up, and then his head came off, and then the second explosion was his body. Okay. I can't make any sense of it. Why jump through all these hoops to kill Renegade Detective with the elevator specifically? It'd be quicker and less risky to do away with him by hand.
それとこれは多分嫌がらせなんだけど、エレベーターの操作パネルにこんな張り紙があったよ。
Warning! This button may cause death! Dolfo takes a piece of a notepad paper from his pocket. Scribbled upon it are the words, Warning! This button may cause death!
確かに死んだね、下道探偵が。
死期を悟った下道探偵の渾身のジョークだったのかも。
You were the one to press the button?
ボタンを押すとき警戒してドキドキしちゃったよ。
Huh. I feel like... Oh man. The thing is, like, up until recently, he hasn't really told a lie. He's been very two-faced, and he's definitely had a warped sense of common sense. But if that's written down and you press it, that's really not right.
全然笑えないって。
So in that case, that means that Dolfo was the one that technically killed Renegade by having the elevator move, right? I think. Then again, trying to inject humor into such a morbid situation would be very like him. We finish examining his corpse and return below ground.
下道探偵の遺体を調べたら、ポケットから彼が装着していたものと同種と思われる首輪が見つかりました。確か社畜さんも言っていたと思うのですが、これは探偵デバイスなどの通信機から起爆を命じることにより遠隔操作で爆破可能なメカのようです。
Okay, but how?
デバイスから命令ってどうすればできるの？
僕ら
Password?
が連絡を取り合っているメッセージ機能で対象に特定のキーワードを送るだけです。今後は分かりやすくこの行動をコマンドと呼びましょうか。
So we have to message... That's so weird. We have to message Renegade a word, and then it just booms.
内部データを解析してみたところ、起爆の条件が3台以上からのコマンドであることも分かりまし
It
た。
needs 3 of them?
3台以上からのコマンドが必要。つまり3人以上が下道探偵にメッセージを送らないといけなかったってことか。
Workaholic says that he needed my help with the detonation, so he planned to have me, himself, and an unknown third party use our D-pads to trigger it. Oh, The unknown third party. I wonder why he was so adamant on getting Watto specifically. Because he could have gotten other people. You still have like a good 5 other members in our party. I see. But that means that he might already have someone in our party who's on board, and that person might actually be the Quartering Duke. And, you know, Workaholic wouldn't know. It's just like a free kill for the Quartering Duke. Now that begs a question on who that is.
ちなみに不用意に裏面を開くと内部データを見られないよう自爆するセキュリティ機能もあります。
Okay, so trying to remove it explodes. Makes sense.
何やらスパイ映画じみていますわね。そちらを利用して起爆することは叶いませんの？装着した状態では裏面は開けませんし、開いて10秒足らずで爆発するので計画的な活用は難しそうです。小型の爆弾として使うのがせいぜいかと。
Takes 10 seconds. That's kind of a bigger window than I expected, to be honest. Huh. small bomb.
エレベーターの扉をこし開けるのには使えそうだけど、それ以上の使い方は厳しそうだね。
Did the culprit sever Renegade Detective's collar, remove it, and then detonate it? I mean, the thing is, if that was a function of the collar, then I feel like Renegade could have removed it any time, because he could just remove it, throw it away within 10 seconds, and then easy peasy, no problem. No, that'd take too much time and leave even more evidence. Makes more sense for it to be detonated in the standard way, remotely.
誰がデバイスから連絡したかまではわからないかな。
残念ながらそこまでは。実際に爆発した首輪は木っ端みじんで調べようもありません。
これまでに死んだ方々のデバイスを利用すればどうでしょうか。
Ooh, that's a good point.
少女は第三の可能性を提示する。
それは盲点でしたわね。ですが指紋認証があるから本人以外は使えない決まりでしょ。
I mean, if you keep their fingers, I know that's kind of messed up, but if you keep their fingers, you can still use it.
指を死体から切り取って持ち運べば良いだけではと少女は回答する。
That would beg the question on who the heck did that?
あなた可愛いお顔なのに発想がデンジャラスですわね。
ですが確かにあり得る可能性です。指の1本や2本でしたら持ち運びも容易ですしね。
もし犯人が八つ咲き子ならそれくらい平気でやるだろうね。
Yeah, they would also have like access to, for example, Senior's thing, because he's already kind of like all cut up and whatnot. And we've also seen like, you know, the other victims kind of present while no one was really monitoring them, such as Rowdy. Oh, so yeah.
そういえば社畜さんや芸道が通常とは異なる起爆方法があると言っていたよ。もしかしたらその方法を利用したのかも。
なるほど、それは調べる必要がありますね。ありがとうございます。
社畜ちゃんの検視も済んだわ。彼の死因は長時間の感電による心肺停止ね。
Yeah, that makes sense.
胸の刺し傷など誰かと交戦した後も見られたけれど、それはどうやら死因とは無関係みたい。
Kind of wonder whether or not he was awake when he got killed. Maybe he got knocked out in the fight, but he ended up dying without even knowing.
出入り口のシャッターに異変は見られなかった。この地下研究棟は僕らが来てから現在まで外部から完全に遮断された状態だね。
So that means everyone was on this floor, or like the underground floor the entire time.
犯人はこの中にいるってことかな。
But we've all been moving about together, so our alibis line up perfectly. I am again reminded of Bookworm's remark about these killings being paradoxical. Both of them died at virtually the same time, one above ground and one below. If we fail to address that, then we won't solve this case. Everyone's gaze instinctively turns towards me. I get it. It's becoming something of a pattern from investigation to only really get going after I give the word.
僕がやるしかないんだ。
Ah, he's becoming ideal! I speak aloud, trying to encourage myself. Ideal Detective isn't here, making this my first time taking charge all on my own. I'm nervous, but it's something I must do.
皆さん、僕たちはもう地上に上がって何もせずに助けを求めることができます。ですが僕たちは探偵。目の前で事件が起きた以上、捜査をする以外の選択肢はありません。僕たちの目の前で引き起こされたこの悲劇を僕たちの手で覆してやりましょう。
Everything about these two deaths is bizarre. Our investigation begins as we strive to detangle this mystery. Detangle instead of untangle. Huh. Okay, so I guess we're going to the SRPG section. We have 9 hours remaining until Nile. Holy crap, what is this? Alright, seems like there are a bunch of traps here. Oh, that's scary. Oh, there are also, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red spots. Oh man, it's kind of a mess, I'm not gonna lie. This is a lot. Well, I guess we'll kind of get started. I'm gonna move Posh over here, start an investigation. And then we're also going to get, let's see, I gotta look at where everyone is and what they can do. So
どうしたの？
Dolfo has extremely good range, so you can probably go over here
どうしたの？
and inspect. Yep. I wonder if I place Dolfo like somewhere a little bit like off, like here. If I'd be able to inspect both that area and nope. Okay, well, it is what it is.
どうしたの？
We'll have Gourmet infer this since her inference is actually really good. I want Wata to get this RT point. I wonder whose detail we're gonna get this time.
手がかりを見つけ出すんだ。
But that seems like a pretty good amount for a preliminary. I still am actionable with Bookworm and Techie, the young ones. So let's see what we get. Why, if it isn't a rubber wristband for guests? Who dropped it here? We need to return it from whence it came. A rubber wristband? We never really did use any of this actually. There were supposed to be like key cards for certain areas, but it never got brought up other than when it was introduced. Whoosh! So the culprit overloaded the breakers, causing a blackout without touching the distribution board. They must have used the AC to pull it off. But how? So they overloaded the breakers, so too many devices on at the same time. Did it with the AC. Like we got the distribution board, so that was really, really well timed. There's something on the floor. Is it the remote for the AC? What's it doing here? Oh, okay, so we have the AC remote here. Does this photo belong to Posh? Oh, we get more about Posh. We got the photo of the happy employees. After dinner, in my infinite wisdom, I reflect upon the day's event and chart our next course, as one would expect from a chief detective.
この屋敷に閉じ込められてから丸1日。とてもまずい状況ですわね。
Although we have access to ample provisions, morale will inevitably crumble in due time. Those with such temperance, such as rowdies, blunt with strong sense of justice, could run amok at any moment. I must keep them in check.
理想探偵。ホームズさんならもっとうまくまとめたのでしょうね。
So this is right, I'm assuming it's right after Holmes died. I recall the face of my eternal competitor. Ultimately, I was never able to best her. A knock sounds at the door, breaking me out of my reverie. Who's gonna be? With Posh? This might sound weird, but I feel like it might be Renegade. Or maybe, yeah, I feel like it might be Renegade. No, it's Workaholic. Keeping my guard up, I open the door to see Workaholic. In his hands, he holds a teapot that I remember spotting in the dining room.
監視カメラの映像でまだ起きているのが見えてね。考え事があるなら、お茶でも飲みながら一緒にどうかな。
I guess we'll get both their true
庶民
names.
の割には気が利きますわね。そのお誘い、喜んでお受けいたしますわ。
Black tea is mental fuel for the noble woman. After all, Workaholic beckons me to sit on the bed before pouring some into cups on the desk. After adding in my preferred amount of sugar, he offers the drink to me with meticulous, practiced ease. The full-bodied aroma wafting from the cup soothed my weary mind.
昨日からずっと無理をしているみたいだけど、大丈夫かい？
無理など全くしていませんわよ。上流階級を舐めないでくださいまし。
強がらなくていいよ。君はリーダーと本当に仲が良かったじゃないか。彼女もよく語っていたよ。家族くんはいつか必ず開花するとね。
Man, in this chapter, we really got a lot of Posh. This was really her like major chapter. If she wasn't, if we didn't get the victim so soon, or not soon, but like confirmed, I would have thought that she was going to be the victim because we got a lot of, you know, attachment to her. We saved her. We believe in her now. And that's usually a death flag. But now we're not, in addition to seeing how she acknowledges her incompetence, we also see how she's really trying her best and considering like everyone else, even on her own time. She's trying to, like, what was that term? Noblesse oblige or something? It means like basically the right of nobility. Some people in like fiction use it to mean, oh, nobles are better than others. But I believe the original meaning means like, use what power you have as a noble to help other people. That's what it means to be nobility, I think. But she's trying to live up to that despite the fact that, you know, her family is not the way it used to be. She's still trying to be an aristocrat without having the benefits of it.
ホームズさんが私を
And in spite of her constant mockery, too, to think that she would leave such a sentiment behind upon meeting her demise, the yellow-bellied coward. I nearly speak my vitriol aloud before I realize the words will not reach her, quietly swallowing my vexation.
君がピンカートン家再興のためにどれほど身を削っているかはよく知っている。身辺を調べられるリスクを承知で、アーリアル・アラン・ピンカートンという本名まで公開して活動しているのは君くらいだ。素晴らしい覚悟だと思うよ。
So her name is Ariel Allen Pinkerton.
でも、だからこそ心配でもあるんだ。みんなをかばって死んでいったリーダーのように、君もまた身を削りすぎてしまうんではないかとね。
Oh, I see. Yeah, she was very proud of her name, so her name is no secret. It's not a surprise that someone that she doesn't even interact with much, Workaholic, would know her name because she's proud of it. He has me pegged. I feel my voice hitch in my throat. However, a proper chief cannot allow such commentary to faze them. Thus, I maintain a cool demeanor and give my reply.
私は上流階級ですから。庶民の皆さんの分まで身を削るのは上に立つ者の義務なのですわ。
Oh man, I really wish they gave Posh a little bit more attention, like earlier, because like you, if you're on this episode, that means you've watched the rest. You saw how much I was crapping on Posh Detective throughout the entire series because she has been such a liability, but also extremely stuck up. But now understanding the context behind it and how she actually feels, it is a lot better. I feel like they shouldn't have hidden this behind like 4 chapters. I wish we got this earlier. Even this scene would have helped a lot.
私にはリーダーとしてホームズさんの分まで皆さんを守る義務がありますの。どうかお気になさらないでくださいまし。
そうか。そうだよね。簡単に止められるなら君自身だって苦労はしない。君が一人で抱え込まずに周囲と協力し合える日が来ることを心から祈っているよ。リーダーや私はもう手遅れだったからね。
Like me. Like, I feel like having this in maybe chapter 3 or maybe even chapter 4 when we were stuck in the dungeon, or not the dungeon but the maze, would have been a lot more helpful because Posh was talking about how she has to bear the responsibility for the common people, and even Workaholic mentions it's alright to not do things on your own. And in that chapter, we learned about how they were, not trying to, how they learned to work with other people. And I feel like that would have been, this RT would have been a lot more beneficial earlier on. I guess, I mean, even the Workaholic saying like, oh, it's too late for some people like me and the old chief. I mean, we at that point, we already had inclinations, or we were already confirmed that Workaholic was a different breed of person. We already knew his diabolical side, so I don't understand the reason for leaving this until now. Left in my own company, I begin to ruminate upon his words.
ホームズさんや社畜さんは手遅れだったなんて私も変わりませんわよ。
Since my birth, no other soul has tried in earnest to restore the Pinkerton name. Far from assisting in my endeavors, many have taken to mockery instead, but trials by fire are all that I know, and I am of no mind to alter my methods.
ホームズさん、安心してくださいまし。私がこの命に変えてもあなたの仇を取り、皆さんを無事に家へ返してみせますわ。
Well aware that she cannot hear me, I voice this proclamation to my lifelong rival, nonetheless. Yeah, there wasn't anything spoilery about future parts or anything. I feel like that would have been a really, really good moment for Posh. Yeah, I don't understand why they did what they did, to be completely honest. Well, maybe I can do some inspection, and yeah, we got that. And I'm gonna get Techie over to this this spot while also analyzing some of the evidence we've gotten. So like now we have several. So this one is 3, so I might as well do it. The AC remote. And I think that is all I can really do, so I'll just do investigation. How very intriguing, mused the girl, imitating the genius physics professor of a certain show. Analysis complete.
科学的に考えましょう。
My analysis shows that the temperature and speed were at max, and the timer was set to adjust before the crime. Oh, there was a timer. Oh, this was the culprit's doing, no doubt. Okay, so... Ooh, wait. This should be doable since they're stationary. I don't have to worry too much about this, hopefully. And I believe we have ways to get rid of them. Luckily, we don't have any more invisible XPXs, I hope. So, I hope that things will go much better. Once again, I hope. Okay, One-san, come over and let's inspect this thing. And, we have a lot of people that are just kind of making their way over to certain things. So, first, let's get Techie over here so that we can inspect this thing.
この足でも
And
できる限りは調べますよ。
I'm not really sure what to do. I'm afraid of things that will pop up sooner or later, so I'm just gonna do that as the preliminary. A broken USB? This can't be a coincidence. Who did this and why? USB, a shattered USB. Alright.
これは
A blood stain? But whose blood is it? I need to analyze this quick. This was in the shower room. Blood stain in the shower. It's mine after they beat me up! Okay, so nothing popped up, but we can analyze them and then stuff should pop up after that. I wonder if I can... Oh, yes, we're gonna get another space here. Get that evidence.
脅威の気配。
I'm gonna slowly move Bookworm over while we analyze stuff, so we can get some progress as we move along. Ooh, there are 2 5s here. I'm definitely gonna have to get Techie to analyze that. So, I guess I can just do something with Posh. We can have her chill here. What's her, analyze? Oh, her analyzation is also 5. Alright, we'll have her do that then. And I guess I'll also have Watto analyze as we get closer to this one area.
頑張るよ。
So I can get that one thing as well. And ours is 3, so we have a lot for this preliminary. Analysis complete! She really reminds me of, I think it was Idea from Bravely Default, who's like... Incompetent aside, only Workaholic was bleeding. He fought somebody prior to being electrocuted and washed his wounds in the shower. What? Workaholic fought with someone and then had time to wash in the shower? How is that? How do you have time for that? Wait, so that wasn't immediate? So, I'm really confused. Eek! This info hasn't been logged yet. New keyword, analysis complete. Upon rereading, I noticed a passage on the manor. It was designed by an architect named Meicho Aragi, known for his poor taste, the girl said factually. I don't know if I got anything out of that. I think we got a keyword, but... This wristband is phosphorescent. Oh! Oh, that's pretty cool. So we have a phosphorescent wristband. I remember in the case when we were in the prison, I noted that there was phosphorus paint, and I was like, oh, that's gonna be relevant because it's dark here, but it was never used. But someone actually ended up keeping that and using it for this case. Cool. If this was on Workaholic's wrist, you can delay his electrocution and see him during the blackout. Okay, that's unlocked. And the only thing we have left is... No, actually... Oh, movement. Okay. I guess we'll... She's not actually very good at inferencing. No one's gonna be in the vicinity. Ooh, there are so many spots here. I'm not really completely sure, like, what to do. But I guess we'll investigate. Alright. Gotta move Techie out. He is way too slow and can be used for something else. I want to get these red things, but it's gonna be a little bit hard given how, I mean, we still have 7 hours left, but there are just so many. Her inference, I mean, analysis is way too good. I need to use her for analyzing. So the shattered USB, and I gotta go some other places with some of these other people.
何か用かな
So I'm gonna have... Dolfo actually has pretty good inference, so I'm gonna station him here and hopefully get him to do some stuff here. I'm gonna do the same with Gourmet, and then next turn I'm gonna have Posh assist both of them. But for now, let's do a preliminary. Okay, let's find out about this USB.
これがピンカートン家の実力ですわ。
As I thought, the data stored in here is yet intact, meaning that we can still make use of it. My noble abstemion, I don't know that word, abstemiousness has carried us to victory.
私についてきなさい。
According to Techie's analysis, there's a special method for triggering the caller recorded on there, correct? Special method of triggering. Oh, how many MP will that need? 20? Okay. Oh boy. I guess we'll make our way there with her and inspect some of these spaces. And the only one left we have is Watto, so we got a decent number of these spaces. I think we only have like 3 left. Watto, his assistance is his main part. I guess I'll just have Watto collect more of the red spots for now. And let's go. Okay, we got another keyword and another keyword, and those traps are still scary. But Techie will also get a new keyword. We'll be done with that soon. We can probably solve this thing, so we can infer here, infer here, and with... Oh man. Aw, damn, I forgot to move her back last time. Actually no, I think this will work. We can do the assist here, and we should be good for this one massive 15. So for now, we'll do a preliminary. Boosto! And another one! Boost! Alright, let's see what this mystery point was. Those burns on Workaholic's wrists, did the cuffs shock him? I know that he was unconscious, but if only he could have avoided touching them somehow. So Workaholic was KO'd. Workaholic's body. Alright, we didn't get anything out of that. We can still actually we still have a lot of evidence now I think about it. I didn't even bother like examining them. Okay, well I think that was a mistake on my part. But I'll have Watto come over here and maybe look at some evidence. So right now we have actually all of our evidence has been analyzed. There's nothing that we can do anymore. Alright, cool. In that case, what should I do? There are 2 mystery points. One is down here, and one is up there. I feel like, in order to take down traps, I should probably move Bookworm over here and spend the next turn trying to get rid of some of these traps, since her inference is relatively high, if I recall. And maybe I should do something similar with Watto. I'll just have him get closer to some of these other points, like this inspection point. Yes. And we're good. Alright. Definitely gotta move some people to some of these MP spots. Watto will inspect that. I'll put Techie here so he can start inferring next turn. I'm gonna have her infer this to get rid of the trap. And then I'm gonna actually bring everyone else over there so that they can do something. So let's slowly move everyone over here. This map-wide movement is so helpful. so helpful. You know, I'm just kind of scanning the map now. You know, in the beginning of next turn, the only red spot I'll have left is just this one, and I can get that with Bookworm. So if this is the last one, which I don't think it is, we should be pretty close. We also have that other area with the other one, but yeah, we should be like really close. So let's start investigating. Is this Renegade Detective's parting gift from the Netherworld? Asked a girl, petting the stuffed animal. These are stuffed animals. Disabling the bomb as Techie instructed. Yep, new information. And we'll start inferring here. And if we move Watto there, we should be able to essentially finish that off. Next turn. Alright, we got the super assist here. And we have the inspection over here. I think we're pretty good. Boost! I will have to say, Posh's assist is extremely valuable. Like, so good. And now we have this point staked out. Unlike Workaholic, Renegade's body isn't actually wounded. Did he die in a totally different circumstance? Like, by chance or something? Okay, so Renegade's body isn't actually wounded. What about all the injuries we gave him? Come on, I worked so hard for that. I mean, I didn't kill him, what? And Renegade's body. How very intriguing. Okay, so we'll get that point next turn. I'm actually gonna do this first, just so that, we have, if anything else pops up, we can all, like, hurry over there. So, let's do the preliminary first. Oh, Boost! Okay. I've checked every PC in here. They were forced to shut down, so they were all on when the outage hit? What if the culprit used them to trip the breaker? So, like, multiple things tripped the breaker. The investigation is complete. Nope! I want to check out a few other things. So, if we look at our, like, let's see. If we look at our analysis, there's still no more evidence we can actually use. Those are only for the evidence points ones. But, yeah, it seems like we're actually completely done. Just for a little bit of fluff, I do want to check out some of the other stuff that we've just gotten. So, like, or not, like, check out their dialogue for essentially getting rid of these traps. So, let's see what, Dolful's stuff about the teddy bear trap will be, as well as, Gourmet's. So, like, yeah. Alright, let's do a preliminary and see. Oh, these bombs shouldn't be too much of a hassle as long as we pay attention. Time to put this naughty bear back in its toy box. I disarmed the bomb, just like Techie taught me to. Everything should be fine now. Alright, yeah, but yeah, it seems like we are done with ample amount of turns. I thought this was going to be a lot more, but because everyone is listening to us, and because we don't really have any major surprises in this case, it's actually significantly easier than I imagined. So we'll go to the results screen. Okay! Happy picture of employees! Alright. Okay, to the, I guess the idea part. I think I'm going to stop here and save the rest for the next episode because this is pretty substantial. A lot of it was investigation, but before that, I do want to check out our lexicon. So we did get a lot of new evidence points. We went up to 45. I could have sworn we were at 30 something before. So we have 5, 6, 8 new things. So that'll take a while. So let's get through the new words that we have learned. And it all starts with the secret police. Secret police. A certain powerful politician used the opportunity presented by the Dayless Night incident 13 years ago to propose creating this detective organization. The organization's goal was to create powerful, ideal detectives whose capability to deter crimes would rival that of the former Pinkerton National Detective Agency. Oh, man, they really, really want to use the Pinkerton name in this game a lot, just like Posh would want you to. Unlike the present-day DEA, they solved no private civilian cases and had no interest in saving lives. Instead, they forewent ethics to focus on weapon development and human experimentation, going so far as to kidnap and imprison children. Ideal Detective incited those unhappy with this direction, dismantling the organization from within and incorporating its personnel and technology to form the current Detective Alliance. Wow. Ideal Detective, who was and is probably still technically not an adult yet, did all this. Actually, no, I think they were like 20 years old, maybe. I thought Otto was in high school, but maybe I remembered wrong. Because they said 10 years ago. I don't know how old he was 10 years ago, but he must have been like in elementary school, but maybe like the later part, so like could still be like 10 years old or something. Oh, no, sorry. No, he was 7. We got our age at 17. Never mind. Completely forgot about that. Maestro Detective, the leader of the secret police, wound up banished by Ideal Detective and has not been heard from since. Huh. Wait, so I thought people got the aliases after joining the DA. Why was Maestro Detective in the DA to begin with? Or was he like, oh, we were going to change the secret police into the DA and then we'll ban you? The superhuman experiments. The true purpose of the human experiments conducted by the secret police underground. After a special neurosurgery, the subjects were exposed to lethal danger. This activated regions of their brain far beyond the normal capacity, inspiring new means for survival. It's said that this led to them to develop sixth senses, though the veracity of this is dubious. If there had only been a great detective with the sixth sense, tragedies like the Dayless Night incident could have been avoided. Society's future depends on ideal detectives who prevent these travesties from occurring altogether. Oh, that is really putting a lot of stress and like responsibility on one person. This was not a good idea. It's like trying to make a Superman, but then everyone's like, oh, I can't do anything without Superman anymore. Oh no! And then humanity becomes useless. Rather than responding after the fact. This was a statement made by Maestro Detective, and at the time, employees of the secret police could not object. The Dayless Night incident had only recently claimed numerous lives, and people undoubtedly harbored much fear over the inscrutable atrocities. So this happened because like everyone was like, we're so tired of all these murders happening. Alright, you can commit war crimes as long as it gets rid of the other war crimes. Denouement, or denouement, as I called it for like the first 10 episodes. A power born of the superhuman experiments. By processing visual data that is usually imperceptible, its user is able to theorize future events, a sort of pseudo-precognition. There are, however, reports of past events being seen as residual thoughts, among other experience unable to be explained by scientific means. Research on these phenomena continue to this day. Yeah, we're like, how do we... I always quote this, but how do you know the parts you aren't there for? That part is supernatural. You can kind of justify the super brain power of the denouement for saying, oh, we just have a lot of this information, my brain's just processing it, forming like a conclusion of what's going to happen. But residual thoughts? There's no way that that's like seeing ghosts. Yes. Because it causes an inordinate amount of data to be processed by the brain in a single moment, this ability places an extreme burden on the mind, and sustained use is not recommended. I had to use it like 7 times against Renegade, and it over-fried my brain. As Ideal Detective is designated as a cute incident, some know of her unusual talents. The specifics, however, are kept confidential. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay, we have the collar. Maestro Detective is said to have developed this compact... Oh, wait. Maestro Detective... This compact explosive device during his days in the secret police. Its official designation is the Weenet, named after the Egyptian goddess who was Oh, I thought it said decapitated, which would also work, but depicted with the head of a rabbit. As this reference is rather obscure, most of them, simply refer to as a collar. It attaches itself by biting into the skin, and is so slim that it can be mistaken for a tattoo at first glance. Its explosive force, however, is highly lethal. Even within the DA, details about how to detonate the collars are limited to a select few individuals. They are primarily used as a means to rein in dangerous or unpredictable targets. Makes sense, yeah. Meicho Aragi, the architect of the Gormenghast Manor. Aragi designated... Oh, right, yeah. This manor is so weird that I remember it said, like, we got this clue from dialogue rather than from one of the red lights from the investigation, and they were like, this person had some really weird taste in architecture. So Aragi designed one building after another with eccentric features, complex mechanisms, and unusual facades. His architectural signatures, This won him the staunch support of wealthy magnates, and he proceeded to construct an entire generation. Unfortunately, mysterious incidents began to occur in his buildings. In a complete reversal, his works began to be viewed as haunted, and in time, Aragi vanished. These days, the buildings are sought after by quite a few people who are drawn in by their paranormal appeal. An inexplicable number of them, however, wind up getting involved in some kind of disturbance or another. Yeah, if you buy a haunted mansion, you gotta expect to be haunted, man. I don't know what to say. That wasn't exactly the best choice. Alright, now we're going to the cases. The case of the Jujo family treasure. Family treasure is gonna be posh. The Ichijo family belongs to the Jujo group, one of the nation's 6 major conglomerates. Ryuga Ichijo. I feel like I've heard the Jujo thing before because I pronounced it as Jojo by accident. The former head of the family left a will that incited chaos between the remaining family heads. The will stipulated that whoever solved its mystery his cipher would receive a massive buried treasure as inheritance. This, of course, gave rise to tensions within the Jujo group, to the point where those involved would not even balk at murder. The Rokujo family, which held much power within the group, contracted the DA to solve the riddle quickly, planning to distribute the wealth equally between the family. the Rokujo family. Okay. The DA was able to deduce that the cipher was based on the literary works beloved by the late Ryuga Ichijo, and thus dispatched Bookworm Detective. Okay, if it's related to literary works, that makes sense. Who solved the case with flying colors. There was, in fact, an assassin lurking behind the scenes with the plans to take out Bookworm. However, Ideal and Mystic were able to foil this scheme in time. Aww, Mystic! So cool! Okay, the case of the building number 1. We had building number 6 before, I think. The elusive eccentric architect Meicho Aragi is believed to have constructed a number of so-called enchanted manors. One of them, building number 1, became the site of a serial killing case. Man, I like how they're like introducing people and then they're related to not only the case we're currently in, because Aragi was, you know, the person who made Gorman gas, but they're also related to cases that have been solved by other members. That's really, really cool. The case occurred before Senior Detective became a member of the DA. Within the manor, the shape of which was inspired by kanji for 1, Aragi discovered a mysterious space that did not appear on his blueprints. Oh! In time, he revealed the presence of a secret resident who had remained hidden within the wall for years. The truth behind the case caused such a stir that it was adapted into a movie and TV show. Then, Senior Detective, and unknown at the time, was suddenly thrusted into stardom. Senior found the media limelight distasteful, however, and his public appearance steadily decreased. Oh, okay, so we actually got stuff about Senior. He is the one person in our roster that I don't know much about because he was never really a member of our group, you know? All right, the Alice Castle killings. Do we ever? So we're getting cases that a lot of the people were involved in. Did we ever get one for Rowdy? I don't really remember. The elusive, eccentric architect Meicho Aragi is believed to have constructed a number of so-called enchanted manors. Okay, he keeps making more and more of them. One of them, Alice Castle, became the site of a homicide. Its whimsical rooms were themed around the books Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, with the lodgers there being murdered one after another through methods that drew from the work's motifs. Damn. Senior Detective, who was a mentor to the victim, arrived at the scene at once. Upon stumbling into one of the culprit's traps, however, it was revealed that he had been the culprit's true target all along. In this manner, teeming with trickery, Senior faced off against his own pupil in a battle of life and death. Ew. Because he was unable to protect the lives of his own students, Senior stepped away from the front lines of detective work in the later years of his life. Oh, so this building was made by Meicho Aragi, but the person who owned the manor was his student, and he just kept committing murders in order to, like, I guess, face off against Senior. And that resulted in a lot of people that he taught dying. Wow. I'm just gonna sweep past these, like, these cases just to see, like, if some of the people, like, if everyone got a case. So here, the vampire and the lycanthrope was Mystic. Ikebukuro was downtown. Building number 6. That's the one. Oh yeah, this is the one with Meicho Aragi. This had Workaholic and as well as Doleful. Undead Cyborg was Armor. Family Detective was Bookworm. Sea Turtle was Gourmet. Endless Night Shift was Workaholic. Shinjuku Rainwalker was Renegade. Ingami Family Case was also Renegade, but, you know, not exactly the same thing. Altered Mona Lisa was Posh. Building number 1 was Senior. And yeah, Alice was Senior, and the Chofu Torso murder was downtown. So if we look at the roster, I feel like we actually haven't gotten some for a decent number. So, I mean, we already know Adil had a lot of different cases under her belt. We have Renegade, Posh, Mystic, Gourmet, Workaholic. We have Doleful involved in one of them, but it seems like these two, the young ones, or actually no, Bookworm had one, so Techie wasn't, I don't have a case where Techie solved it yet, as well as a case where Rowdy solved one, so we're missing cases for those two. I guess we'll get them in a later chapter? But yeah, that was, oh wait, I'm not done yet. We got an update for one of these, so it's gonna be, yeah. Posh, real name, Ariel Allen Pinkerton. She's 21 years old, so she's not gonna be one of the people who were kidnapped. Despite her classy alias, the Pinkerton agency is currently in a period of decline, having closed their detective branch in her home country to focus primarily on security guard service. Dissatisfied with the state of things, she and her trusted subordinates move abroad to establish Pinkerton Japan Incorporation and restore her family name. She now acts as both the face and head of the company, working tirelessly to expand it. Okay, so we never really got more on Workaholic other than the alias change. And yeah, I'm kind of concerned because like I want to know more, but I feel like we only have like one chapter after this, and I don't think we're gonna get all the RTs or all the keywords in our lexicon, since right now we're at 45 out of 62. We're 3/4 way there, but we only have a sixth of the game left, if you know what I mean. But that was quite a bit, especially at the end with the info dump on the lexicon. And yeah, we're gonna continue and fully solve this murder next time. But until then, I will be seeing you. See ya!